Hey Miranda, welcome to the GAC RMHC Golf Classic. Just want to give you an opportunity here to view your swing at regular speed. We'll let that play on through. We'll put you back in your address position. We'll go ahead and take a look at a few things for you. So while we get you back here in your setup, let's go ahead and take a look at your posture. We can see your spine straightened on a tilt. Your legs come down and barely are unlocked. Your arms then hang very tightly into your core. Forearms work away a little bit, and then the club works out to the ball. So, I mean, ideally, we'd obviously revise your posture here a little bit, and in association with your alignment. So we can see that clearly you're aiming way out to the left there. So first, we'd get you running parallel to your target. So we get your feet. And I'll show you this in a few minutes. So with your posture, we would get your tail out and up. We get your sternum out and forward. And what that's going to do is just going to put your spine on a better incline. From here, we want to unlock your legs and let your arms then hang down naturally in front of you and let the golf club work out to the ball. So your arms aren't going to be tight to you anymore because your spine's not so vertical. So we would change it into that kind of posture in association with better alignment. And what I mean by that is, we can see that your feet are aiming way out to the left here. So if we draw a line along your toes, carry that out towards the intended target. Theoretically, your club face is supposed to run parallel. Your feet in parallel lines on camera will have the appearance of converging. And in that scenario, basically we're set up to hit the golf ball like way over here. So let's just go ahead and do a little split screen comparison with Chella Choi here. And I've got some color-coded lines on the screen to use as a visual reference as it pertains to swing plane. And we will look at your swing plane even though you're set up this open. But let's just first of all, let's look at Chella's alignment, okay? So the first thing is we can see that her feet are running here. We carry that out. And then we understand again, parallel lines on camera have an appearance of converging. So she's set up to hit the golf ball there. So we're nice and square. Feet, knees, hips, forearms, shoulders, all running parallel left to the red flag. So we have to fix that up for you. Then let's look at the posture. See how her spine's tilted over better? She's got a tail out, and her sternum and her head are more out over her toes. So we need to do a combination of improving your posture in association, obviously, with your alignment. At this point in time, when we take a look at the actual golf swing, we want to draw the golf club back by turning the shoulders, bringing the arms and hands back, as well as the club. And we want to see the club traveling back along the red line, which means it's coming back on proper plane. On the early stages of the golf swing, we also want to incorporate some good wrist hinge into play, which means we're going to transition the club head from being below and in front of our hands to moving the club head above and behind our hands, which we can see through this zone right here. Once we do that, then we want to take the golf club from red and move it up to yellow. When we finally set the golf club at the top of the backswing, we pretty much want to have the left arm of the club on the yellow line, or sort of anywhere within that blue-yellow V zone. We also want to do this with full shoulder rotation and about a stable right side. So with you, as we watch you bring the golf club back, because your setup's so open, we're initially going to see your hands, arms, and golf club travel to the outside, to the right of the red line. So that's immediately what we see. I mean, that's just because you're so wide open, the club has nowhere to go but outside of swing plane. Now, as you keep turning here, you do a good job with your rotation. Let's see some wrist hinge occur. So a little stiff-wristed with the golf club through this vantage point of the golf swing. Right there, you get a little bit of wrist hinge. And then the next thing we're going to see is that your brain's going to say, hey, I got to drop this club head in behind my hands so we at least have some power. So right here, we're going to see the club head fall back, and we're going to see it fall back more. And look at, you're actually shallowing out the golf swing pretty incredibly. So when you finally get to the top of the backswing, what we see is we see that you've turned your shoulders nicely. The arms have shallowed out. Problem is you're creating this rotation off of an axis that's just too tall. and then there's a little bit of a breakdown in the arms and the golf club. So again, if we can create a backswing off a better alignment and a better starting position with respect to the posture, then you know what? When we swing the golf club back, the golf club will probably swing back on a much better plane. And at that point in time, we just got to redefine your arms a little bit with a little bit better arm extension, not letting the golf club break down up top. Now, as we start our downswing, we simply want to move the weight from the right foot to the left, fire the knees and the hips to the target laterally, unwind the core, and fire the hands. And in doing so, we want to bring the golf club from yellow back down on top of red, which is where the club originated. And that's exactly what we see here with Chela Choi. We see the golf club having returned back to plane. The other thing we want to point out or observe is the relationship between the lead form and the golf club. I refer to this as the backwards check mark. It simply means the club head right now is remaining above and behind her hands coming into the hitting zone. And this is ultimately what's going to allow us to create a lot of power in the golf swing, let alone her ability to hit the ball straight. Again, as already noted, the club has returned back to plane, which is the main criteria in order to be able to hit a straight golf shot in accordance to our alignment. So with you, when we start our downswing, and this is actually probably the best thing you do in your golf game right now, is when you start your downswing, you drop your hands and arms beautifully. So that's just dropping it right back into the slot there. I mean, typically for people that set up this open, I'm going to hazard to say for every 100 swings I see with people that are set up or aiming left, 99 of you come from over the top and attack the ball from outside. So you're creating a transition back into the ball that's very, very different from everybody else who sets up open. And the nice thing is, this very, very different move is actually the correct move. So you drop your hands and arms and watch where the golf club goes. So pre-impact here, what we can take a look at is we can take a look at the relationship between the lead form and the club. And we can say, hey, you've got your backwards check mark. Creating power in your golf swing won't be that much of an issue. Now, you haven't fully returned the club head back to plane, but considering how open your alignment was and what you had to do as a reroute and a compensation to bring the club back into the ball, that's pretty impressive right there. So let's go to the next frame and let's just really track the club head coming into the golf shot. And let's see where it goes. I actually have a feeling here you're going to even drop the club head in behind your hands even more, and it's going to get into even a better position. So here we go. Yeah, you do. So the club falls right on plane right now. So, 3 things we need to hit a straight golf shot. You have to aim well. Feet have to run parallel left of our target. In order to hit the ball straight based on that alignment, the club has to return to plane. So a nice thing right now is that because you're aiming way left, but you're dropping the club back onto plane, you still have an ability to hit the ball out at your target as long as you don't over-release the club, because that's the third element that's required to hit a straight golf shot. So let's go to the next frame. So beautiful. So club's coming in just fine. As we can see with Chela Choi, her club returned back to plane here. You were pretty close to returning back. And then we just watch her come into the golf ball, and she simply comes into the ball directly from the red line. Actually, just slightly underneath the red line. Okay? So again, this is what's going to allow her to produce a straight golf shot in accordance to her alignment, assuming that the club face squares up via having a good grip. So here you are, you're coming into the ball just beautifully. So as long as the club face doesn't do anything crazy right here, you should be okay. But because of your posture, your balance, your starting position, unfortunately, you come into the ball here, club face is squaring up. So now you're going to be in a little bit of trouble here just because the club face is fully squaring up. And due to the fact that you're set up so wide open, even though you did drop the club down on plane, what we can see here, because you're standing too close and because you're so wide open, your club's not far enough inside the ball. So her club's inside the ball expanding out to make contact, so she can actually hit the ball out at her target and swing the club on a nice arc. Your club is going to drop down and across. So see, actually, you know what? I'm actually surprised you dropped it back to the ball, but then you pushed it back out. So I would have expected that the club might have, once it hit the golf ball here, I would have anticipated that the club would have kept sort of moving in this direction. And obviously if we square the club face up to that yellow path continuing down red, obviously we're going to hit the ball in the direction of where we're swinging and the direction of where we're aiming. So now we're in big trouble. If the club face squares up, it's going to continue that way, or if it actually releases, then we're going to hit some form of a pull draw or pull hook. If we happen to leave the club face open, then we have the ability to sort of block the ball out to the right a little, produce a little bit of left to right spin, and then there's no issues, and we can hit this fade or slice back on line. If we leave the club face too open, then we even block the ball more right, considering the fact that we're swinging left. That's pretty incredible. Face had to be severely open, we would hit this block slice. So really the end result of your golf shot, because you're swinging the golf club sort of on a yellow path that's out into the ball, then back out, if you square the face, it's following red. Over release the club, follows the smaller red arrows, leave it wide open, it'll follow yellow. And if you time it okay, it'll follow blue. And those are kind of the golf shots I'm sure you're accustomed to seeing when you hit the ball well. But at impact here, I just want to, again, take a look at your club. The only problem is with this swing path, your club face is squaring out. And then the other problem is you're hitting the inside heel of your club. So you're hitting the inside heel, squaring it up. So this ball is just going to go dead low left on you. So it's going in the direction of where you're aiming, direction of where you're mostly swinging, plus the club face squares up to where you're swinging, and it hits the inside low heel. So we're just not going to get any launch angle to the golf ball. Now, if you did get the ball on the face of the club with this swing, you'll hit the ball pretty solid. You get a pretty good launch angle. Problem is it's probably going way left on you. But again, the end result of the shot is just dictated what happens to this club face through the ball if you do get the ball on the face of the club. And like I said, if it over releases, it's going to be hit solid, but it's going to go left. If you leave it open, we can fade it back on line to the right. And if we leave it too open, it's going to go way too far right on us. As we carry through, you got some nice athletic motion through, getting up on your right toe. You're getting through to a finishing position. I mean, there's some nice qualities for sure in your golf swing here. With respect to your hands come back, they fire through. Your core works well. You coil, you uncoil. You got good footwork that allows you to get through to a good finish. So if you want your athletic ability to shine through, we do have to fix up some of your fundamentals. We have to fix up your posture, your balance, and your distance away from the ball. You're too close and you're too tall. We have to fix up your alignment. At that point in time, the reality is if we just improve your posture, your distance away from the ball, and your alignment, and let you swing the club the way you are, you're going to become a much, much better ball striker. Beyond that, if we can obviously refine the top of your backswing here where your arms are breaking down so much, obviously that would be ideal as well. But I'd really like to see your golf swing with respect to swing plane when we change your posture, your balance, your distance away from the ball, and your alignment. Because at that point in time, we can take a look and see exactly what your golf club's doing, but your club's going to be pretty much on plane, and you're really going to hit the ball really, really well. So a lot of potential here, and if at any point in time you ever want to work on any of these aspects, I'm over at Glen Abbey in Oakville. I'd be happy to structure a program for you. Also, if you're involved with any golf tournaments at all, and you guys are looking for a unique gift to provide to your guests, feel free to reach out, and I'd be happy to discuss my swing analysis services. Anyways, hope you had a fabulous day. And I hope you enjoyed getting an opportunity to see your swing on video.